It's 9:44 on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Calling to order the annual meeting of the town of East Montpelier. And I'm Michael Duane, I'm the moderator. And we're going to begin with Article 1, which is to elect all necessary officers for the ensuing year to be voted by Australian ballot. And the polls are open from 9 until, 7, looking at the clock again, 7 to 7. And we're voting on that positions in the same building, and so state law only allows us to introduce by name the people that are running for election without any speechifying, which is not allowed. So town moderator is Michael Duane. I'm running for one-year term. Select board is Joe Brooks, who's running for select board. Seth Gardner is also running for select board. Lister is Deb Fillion, I think-ish. I don't know if she's here this morning or not. And I had marked the people that are running for office, which I believe is on page 3. The auditor is Carla Ocaso. Is she present this morning? The Planning Commission is Clarice Cutler is running. Is Clarice here? Clarice, thanks, Carl. Alex Robb is also running for Planning Commissioner. I don't know if Alex is here or not. And Becca Schrader is also running right here for the Planning Commissioner. So the polls are open until 7 p.m. Article 2. To hear the reports of several town officers and to act thereon. Is there a motion to hear the report of the select board? And somebody's making a motion. That's Janice Waterman, and a second for that is Bruce Chappell. And Mr. Gardner, would you kindly give the select board's report, which you can all find on page 13 of the town report?
Is this thing turned on? I think so. So welcome everyone to the 2026 town meeting. Glad to see you all here. We have bets on how many people are going to come to town meeting. I have 2 bets today, but I'm not going to tell you how many people I bet on or the people that I bet with.
I think I might win.
But we have some pretty high stakes going on here. They center around alcohol.
Why not?
Why not? So anyway, let's move on to the select board report. I'm going to try to do it. It's fairly wordy, so I am not going to read it word for word. But I'm going to try to do each paragraph and fairly quickly. But please feel free to raise your hand and ask questions. Don't be shy. Because we welcome questions. We want people to know what's going on. So please raise your hand and we'll address any questions as we move through the report.
As a point of order, we have 3 runners who are going to have the microphone to go around if you have questions. We have Julia over here, Tavish is in the back, and Penny is over here in the front. Sorry, Seth.
No problem. So I'm going to start in. Now, some of the questions you asked me may be way above my pay grade. So I may shuffle them off to our town administrator, who is in the front row, seated to my right, and has a red shirt on. Okay, so let's get started. So paragraph 1, 2 deals with some of the volunteers and committee members who have moved on to other jobs. Craig Sedek retired. He was part of the road crew. We have Caleb Cerruti, who's taken his place, and Chris Raccanelli has retired from listing and the Green Up Day. And we have a new lister, Richard Jez Harrington, and we have a new select board member, Joe Brooks, who's seated on my right, on the end, who has stepped up and is also running for election. I guess I shouldn't have said that, but there we go. So any questions on the key personnel? Nothing? Okay. Next thing is a new town garage that's being built as we speak. Anybody have any questions on that? It's going to be completed around May something. I read a date this morning of April, but I think it's more like May. It's moved along really well. I go up once a week about, and a few others from the select board. We go up, see what's going on. It's being built by Connor Construction. They're doing an awesome job. It's a fantastic building. It's moving right on schedule. It's also on budget. So any questions about the garage? I don't see any.
I see
Yeah,
a
right here.
question right
Yeah.
there. I believe that's
Perfect.
Nona Estrin. The question was, how come it's on budget?
Because we have such a great select board management and everybody does a great job here.
Cut that guy off.
And,
Yes.
It's like Ann Stanton has a question.
I don't have a question. I just want to recognize on the floor Andy Shapiro, who has made a huge difference, and all volunteer.
Yep. Good point. That's a good point because Andy is always there. He's put countless hours into the project, and he's done an awesome job for the town. So, no more questions on town garage. Road maintenance. Anybody got questions on that? Okay. Let's move to the next page. One of the things we've done, because we've had complaints about speeding, is we've got some of the lighted speed signs going up in various locations in town. They'll be going up in the spring once the snow melts. Hopefully that helps. Quaker, let's see, we got Vincent Road, Clark Road, Town Hill Road, what's the other one? Center Road. So, yeah, so those are all going to be going in. Hopefully that helps the speeding. So, I mean, what I like to do, yes, sir, right there.
Looks like a question right there.
Yeah.
Bill Marilis, I believe.
Hey, thanks. I wanted to mention Gallison Hill Road as a unsafe road in many instances. I'm not sure how many crashes there have been where Gallison Hill meets the Wheeler Road, but it's a tricky turn, and there are two directional signs, one in each direction, that like the reflective material is kind of gone, eroded away. They're hard to see. And I think you guys know the turn I'm speaking about.
Yeah.
You come down the hill, you don't see the turn until you're right on it. I just would like to request that the select board consider improving the signage there so that we don't have any loss of life or twisted cars anymore. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. Well, we got another hand up here.
Yes.
Yeah. Charles Johnson.
The runners are running.
Hi, excuse me, Charles Johnson. I'd like to second that about what Bill Merrily said. I think the big problem there is that the line of sight, when you're coming from Gallison Hill, or coming down Gallison Hill, that curve, all the shrubs on the right are blocking the view. So if they could be cut back, not with the mangler,
Okay.
but by hand,
Oh,
and I'd be willing to volunteer to help with that.
okay.
That would improve it tremendously.
All right. Thank you. Oh, I see his hand up over here. Wait. Wait, ma'am. Ma'am. Yeah.
The other problem we have is Google sends all of the tractor trailers up that hill, especially if they're going to any part towards Route 14 or Route 2. So maybe we need to contact them and tell them to stop sending the tractor trailers up that hill.
Okay. We'll call Google in the morning. Right. Anything else? Okay, so we're going to move on to fleet and equipment upgrades. Any questions on that? We've had to buy some equipment. That's pretty normal. We've tried to stretch out our truck life to 10 years per truck. That's working out, but there are some challenges sometimes with the breakdowns, but you know, we've tried to cover ourselves with having an extra truck. That's worked out pretty well. So basically, we're not spending money willy-nilly on equipment. We try to be as frugal as possible, but equipment costs a lot of money these days. So there you go. Flood recovery, we've gotten the FEMA repairs done. We've paid for all the FEMA repairs. They have given us some of the money. There is a thought that we're going to get a significant amount more money, but we're not sure about that. But our town administrator is very persistent, and she is bugging them constantly to squeeze more money out of FEMA. If you're familiar with FEMA at all, it's a painful process. So our town administrator is doing a wonderful job. She's trying to get money. Maybe if you have any questions about that, you can ask her. So that's basically where that's at. So North Montpelier has secured some grants, planning grants, and they are working on that, trying to get a master plan for the North Montpelier Village, and also do some other planning centered around some development perhaps at Orchard Valley, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of in the planning stages right now. Nothing's happened, but they're working on it. So we also always apply for other grants. We do a paving grant. We usually get a paving grant every 3 years. That is usually around $150,000, and that helps a lot with the paving that we do in town. So we're always applying for grants to help out defray the town expenses. So the trails have been improved a lot. We have a new head of the trails, Bill Hygis, who is a hard-working guy for the trails. He's here today. He comes in and blabs to the select board on a regular basis. He is a very hard-working guy. He's out improving the trails constantly. We need to keep on our trails. If you have any questions about trails, Bill is here to answer them. So that's where that's at. So we've had favorable audits, no problems there. Anybody have any questions about the audit? And we've done some sale of the Hudson House, which is in the village. We bought that a few years ago to straighten out some of the easements. We sold that. We actually made some money on that, and we have someone living there, bought the properties, fixing it up. It was a win-win for the town. And that's not on that's on the tax rolls again. It was a really positive move. We've also done some efficiencies in the town office. We're working on the website and land records and lots of blah, blah there. Any questions on that? Believe me, I've got questions about it too, but it's okay. So we did adopt a new local emergency management plan. This kind of stuff is ongoing with the select board. We're always reviewing plans. The town administrator and myself met with the she's the new emergency management director, is Jen, our town administrator. She stepped up to do that on a volunteer basis. If you have any emergencies, et cetera, contact her. She is well-positioned to handle emergencies where sometimes I was not because I'm a farmer and I'm busy and things are emergencies to other people aren't always emergencies to me. So she has stepped up to fill my shoes, thank God. So town events was just Green Up Day. There's also, we had a volunteer appreciation party. There's also some grant outreach events going on in North Montpelier. And that's really not much else besides that. So any questions? Yes, sir. We have a question. Thank God.
Steph, I was just curious. I was reading in here about the flood business.
Yes.
And we actually had a property in town that's applying for a buyout.
Yeah.
I'm just curious where it is.
I don't know. So you're talking about the Tefani? The
Oh,
old
I'm
Tefani?
just curious.
Yeah. So I don't believe they've gotten paid. I mean, they have submitted a lot of documents to FEMA. Last thing I knew, I met with the applicant, and as a town, we had to sign various papers to do with that. But last thing I knew, he had not gotten anything. That town is in Plainfield and East Montpelier. Yeah. So,
That was a question by Bruce Chappell. Any other questions for the chair or other members of the select board?
remember, we can, any questions about finances, we have a lot of people here can answer those questions.
And that's.
Yeah, we have
Yeah, Bruce.
Bill Merrill's here.
No, not Bruce. Bill.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm just curious about the Orchard Valley property. Is it privately owned? Is it town land? How many houses may end up on there?
Okay, so it's not town property, it's privately owned. The town really has no, does not have anything involved with that. If anything happens there, it'll be privately developed, but that is perhaps part of the plan that people are putting together to encourage some development there. But the town really has no involvement with the project. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, perhaps, yeah.
Any other questions with regard to the select board report? Seeing none and hearing none. You have heard the report of the select board on Article 2. Article 3, shall the town raise the sum of $2,761,773 as proposed by the select board for laying out and repairing highways and other necessary town expenses for the fiscal year 2027, again to be voted by Australian ballot. Now, even though this does not involve electing individuals, there can be discussion or questions about Article 3 in the building. And are there any with regard to the budget on Article 3? There appear to be none, and Article 3 is voted from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Article 4, shall the town authorize all property taxes for the fiscal year 2027 to be paid to the town treasurer without discount in 2 installments? The first installment will be due and postmarked on or before Monday, November 16th, 2026, and the second will be due and postmarked on or before May 17th, 2027. Is there a motion to adopt Article 4 with regard to the payment in installments of property taxes? And we need a motion to move that forward, and there's a motion by Ginny Callan. Is there a second to that motion? And that looks like, Zach Sullivan. Any questions or discussions with regard to Article 4? Seeing none, hearing none, you have adopted Article 4. Again, the purpose of the hammer is that once you vote on an article and the hammer goes down and you move on to the next article, the state law of Vermont says you cannot go back and revisit something that's already been voted on. without filing a petition to have another town meeting to have another vote. So, all important hammer. Article 5, shall the town, pursuant to 24 VSA, provide notice of the availability of the town report by postcard mailed to all registered voters in lieu of mailing or otherwise distributing the report, with copies to be published on the town website and mailed from the town office upon request. Again, this is to be voted by Australian ballot between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And however, again, since it doesn't involve the election of officials, are there any questions or discussions regarding Article 5? Ginny Callan. We need a microphone from a runner. Here we go. Again, we're on Article 5, question by Ginny Callan.
Hi. I'd like to know how much money we're going to be saving. I'm assuming this is a step taken for saving funding from postage. I think I'm a traditionalist. I really like getting my town meeting report in the mail and having time to go through it. And so unless it's a big savings, I'd like to hear more about why this is even on the ballot.
Is there someone from the town that can answer that question? Mr. Gardner.
I'll take a stab at it. It was suggested as a savings about $5,000, and that's pretty much it. We have noticed that it seems like a lot of the town reports wind up in the recycling bin kind of quickly. We've seen a lot of them get delivered and don't get read, it seems like, but we're open to anything. We're putting it to the voters. We'll see what they say. Now, one of the things I did think about, if the vote was close, maybe we would keep doing the reports. In my mind, if it was a close matter, we should keep mailing them. But if there's a big, swing one way or the other, we would follow the vote. That's just how I perceive it. And the town report, of course, would still be available to you in a printed version. We're going to mail the postcards, and we can mail you a report. So, we're not vested too much one way or the other. We want to give voters the option. So that's how that wound up there. And we're always looking to save money because money's tight. So that's where it came from.
Sure.
We didn't get the town report until a few days before town meeting. And I'm thinking if we have to have a postcard and then call and then get a town report mailed to us, it's going to come pretty close to town meeting day. So that would be another concern.
Yeah, that's a good concern about the timing, and we'll take that into account. We have talked about for next year budgeting for printing up town reports, about a quarter of the number of town reports that we normally do, figuring that would satisfy the demand. And we'll see where it goes if that passes, if it gets passed, yes.
What are those numbers, Carl? How many are printed now and how many would you propose?
Question is, how many are printed now and how many are proposed next year, depending on whether or not it would pass? And Rosie, our town clerk, seems to have an answer, perhaps.
Do we have a microphone for it?
We have a microphone for it. These runners are running there.
These books have to be sent by statute to every voter. So in order to do that, we send one to each household of voters, which equals roughly 1,120 books. And they are sent out by the auditors. The auditors are required to have them in the mail no less than 10 days prior to the town meeting.
But Rosie, our understanding was if we do move to the postcard system, you're going to mail the postcards out earlier than that.
Correct. So you can expect a postcard the 1st of February. And just to clarify,
go ahead.
We are happy to mail them from the office. Sometimes bulk mail takes a little longer.
And we have another question with regard to this article.
Hi, Tracy Loyson. Rosie, I'm wondering if there's an option to opt out of the mailing. So that if you don't opt out, you get it.
Based on the law, you can't. It's one way or the other.
Thanks, Rosie. Any other questions with regard to Article 5? Ellen Knadler.
It also seems that, I mean, we have no problem with mail delivery at our house, but there are certainly, as I read in Front Porch Forum, Montpelier is kind of a nightmare. And I don't know how many people in East Montpelier have their mail slowed down. And I don't know that I don't know what the cause is. I can say what I think it is, but I won't say what I think it is. So, you know, that may be why people didn't get their books until close to town meeting.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments regarding Article 5? Carl, you have something. Please.
We also, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the question about opting out leads me to wonder and ask to the town clerk, is it possible, if this passes, to opt in permanently, to say once, yes, I want to get the town report each year and not have to call in or mail something in each year? And you're nodding. That would be an easy fix. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Rosie thought that would be an easy fix. Thanks, Carl. Jen, our town administrator.
I just wanted to mention, we also have it digitized, so it's available on our website as soon as it's available.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or discussion regarding Article 5? And there's two, and I see the fellow right there. Yes, sir. Oh, no? Behind? No, go ahead. Yes. What's your name again?
My name's Kate Brumley.
Hey, Kate.
I really like this idea about...
There's a microphone. That'll be helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Kate Brumley. I'm just going to say that I appreciate the paper as well, but I really do like this idea of not doing more, especially with resources that are limited, you know, financial and then also just paper. So I really like that we're thinking this way and opening this discussion. And personally, I think it's a great idea to allow people to opt in to getting these. So, thank you.
Thanks, Kate. There was a person behind you, too, that had their hand up. Yeah.
I'm Marlene McCarty, and, no, thank you.
Marlene?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm Marlene McCarty. And we didn't get mail for so many days, weeks, and then my lovely lady that delivers hurt herself. So we were told, well, she's going to retire soon. Don't bother forwarding your mail. So it went on and on and on. So what happened was the town mailed the town mailed our ballots, where I forwarded to my daughter in Montpelier. I finally forwarded my mail to Montpelier. And instead of telling me that our ballots were there and our book was there, I just happened to see something on Front Porch Forum about the potluck. And I said, is there a meeting? I didn't have the knowledge of it. So we almost missed the vote. We almost missed the meeting. And now my husband, who wasn't here today, couldn't vote. So I was feeling bad that they didn't at least call and say, we tried to deliver your ballot. And the mail's been very messed up. So what can you do? I mean, I feel sorry for them, but I wish they had called me and said, the ballots are here, do you want to come get them? That's all I wanted to say.
Yep. And they being whom?
The town.
The town. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marlene. Nona Estrin has her hand up. Where's?
Thank you, young man. Is it on? Yes.
Yes.
It seems to me that if you look at the percentage of people that are getting this and not getting it, it may match the number of us that can make it to town meeting and don't make it to town meeting. A democracy rolls along on a small number of people every year. Sometimes they change, sometimes they stay the same. I think it behooves us to to do everything we can to make sure that we have the option. And certainly the town meeting booklet has a lot to do with our ability to come here and participate. So I strongly urge us to consider that just a few more years and then look at it again, maybe. And the issue about the mail, I would like to suggest that somehow we thank our postmaster for delivering mail after hours, as late as 10 o'clock at night. I just want to say that I was there one day when he was talking to whoever his boss is, and it was loud enough because it was a speakerphone or something that you could hear what was being said. And the gentleman on the other end said, I don't care if it's a weekend. I want everything out of here by such and such a time. I don't think there was any other cleaned out post office in Washington County other than ours.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments regarding Article 5? Seeing none, hearing none. Again, this is a Australian ballot vote, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And now we're going on to Article 6. Shall the town raise the sum of $56,195 for Kellogg Hubbard Library for support of the Kellogg Hubbard Library? Again, this is an Australian ballot item from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As it does not involve election of an official, we can have a discussion. And as Sarah Swift here, I know she wanted to say a few things. Sarah, hi. Let's let Julie get you your microphone, please.
Hi. I'm Sarah Swift. This is my third year as the trustee of the Kellogg Hubbard Library representing East Montpelier. Kellogg Hubbard Library is one of the biggest libraries in Vermont. We circulate almost 200,000 physical and digital items a year. And last year we hosted almost 13,000 people at the library programs. We serve hundreds of visitors every day. Because Kellogg Hubbard Library is an independent nonprofit, we rely less on tax support than the average Vermont library. Municipal funds make up 53% of our annual budget, compared to 74% of the average Vermont library budget. 77% of our budget supports wages and benefits for our incredible librarians and staff. Our funding requests to our member towns this year are in line with current inflation rates and reflecting our commitment to spending your dollars wisely. We hope that you continue to value the library and our work to provide free and equal access to information and other resources, and will vote yes on Article 6 on the ballot. I'd like to entertain any questions or comments.
Are there any questions or comments for Sarah, our library representative, with regard to Article 6? There is. Far right. Where? I'm missing that.
Hi there, my name is Deborah Glontman.
Oh, hi, Deborah.
I run the Mitzvah Fund in East Montpelier. And I just wanted to say that with the help of other nonprofits like Kellogg Hubbard, we can do everything from hold staff meetings and lectures and CEs that a lot of places I as a nonprofit can't afford to rent. And they also offer their services to us at no charge with certain amounts of people. So I wholly can tell you that among all of the other benefits that it gives our children and our locals, it certainly helps. It plays really nicely in the sandbox with other nonprofits. And that's just what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah. Any other questions? Bruce.
I know the library was heavily damaged in the flooding in 2023, and I wonder what else needs to be done. I know a lot of work has been done. how's the recovery from that looking?
The recovery is complete. You should come down and visit. It's amazing. The basement is completely renovated. A lot of the systems were moved up to the first floor. And I think that we are getting the last of our FEMA payments on that. So good news on that.
Thanks, Sarah. Bruce, just for the record, what's your last name again?
Bruce Howlett.
Howlett. Thank you, Bruce. Any other questions for Sarah regarding the library as our representative? Seeing none, I think we're all set on Article 6. Again, voting is till 7:30. Article 7. Shall the town raise the sum of $3,700 for the Four Corners Schoolhouse Association for operating expenses during fiscal year 2027? Is there a motion to adopt Article 7 regarding the Four Corners? There's one in the back, Nora Duane. And anyone else who want a second for that? Bruce Chappell. Any discussion with regard to the Four Corners Schoolhouse Article 7? Mr. Guyon, I think, is the chair of the board.
Yes, good morning. Last year I thanked everybody in the town for the resources to do the work we did last year on the building, fighting the mold remediation work. And this year I thank you for your patience. We ran into some difficulty with the entryway. We had to wait at the urging of the historic preservation people to see whether the work we did in the main part of the building would somehow apply to the entryway. But it's a separate space. We waited long enough until we realized the mold in that space was not really abating. And we went in this past early fall, and we found out that not only was the mold still rampant down below that space, but the moisture was such that all the framework, the flooring, the subfloor was completely rotten. I tore it out with my hands, basically. So we now have a new subfloor, new framework. We have insulation down there. We have holes in the foundation that link it to the rest of the building. So we're fairly confident that this will now be a mold-free space. The last details are coming into play this summer. We will get the building painted. This spring, we will get the mudroom, the entryway painted. So we will be, at long last, hopefully mold-free, and we welcome you all to use the space. I will specifically urge any nonprofits who might want to find space in East Montpelier to look us up as well. But it is all, there's a revamped fee structure that's now on the Facebook page, the Four Corners Facebook page. I urge you to look it up and use this precious little community building. Thank you.
Thanks, Hobie. Any other questions or discussion regarding Article 7, the Four Corners Schoolhouse, before we vote on that? And there is a Four Corners Association report on page 62 of your report. Are there any other questions regarding Article 7 before we vote? All those in favor of adopting Article 7 for the sum of $3,700 for the Four Corners Schoolhouse Association for 2027, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 7. Article 8, shall the town raise the sum of $9,000 for the East Montpelier signpost to provide for the production and mailing of 6 issues for each East Montpelier resident, household, and non-resident property owner during fiscal year 2027. Is there a motion to adopt Article 8 by someone, Ann Stanton? And is there a second, Barry Rufinot? Any questions or discussions regarding Article 8 involving the signpost? Ann, please.
I'm on? Okay. First, I'd like to open by thanking the community for the support that you have so generously made in the past. And we've been going on for 36 plus years now, thanks to Jean Kate, who saw this as a way to pull us together into a community of which we may all be proud and are proud. We can't set up a table anymore because we're asking for money, and that would be sort of, like double jeopardy. So I do want to mention that we exist on a completely volunteer basis, where volunteers plan, edit, and design our publication, and we have Alex Brown to thank for the fact that we now have all color. So I'm mostly talking to ask if anyone in this building now would like to volunteer. We could use you as a writer, but we also would ask you to volunteer ideas for stories, ideas for people who have not been featured. We're trying to increase to embrace more people. We're especially trying to embrace more younger people because we're all getting up there. So I thank you for your support, and I'm ready to answer any questions you might have.
Anyone have any questions for Ann? Nona Estrin.
I wondered if any of you knew, that Jean Kate also is the reason we have the East Montpelier Town Trail System. We were a small committee. Jean was the head of this, and that's also when we did the signpost idea. And she's responsible for a lot of things in town. I like to remember her with great gratitude. And thank you for mentioning her.
Looks like it's SRO in the back, but there are some seats in the front if anyone would like to get a seat, and there's a couple up here as well. Article 8, again, are there any questions regarding Article 8 before we vote on that appropriation? I don't see any, I don't hear any. The question is, shall the town raise the sum of $9,000 for the East Montpelier signpost to provide for 6 issues mailed to each resident during fiscal year 2027. All those in favor of Article 8, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 8. Shall the town, Article 9, raise the sum of $6,000 for East Montpelier trails for the enhancement, development, administration, and maintenance of the trail network during fiscal year 2027. Is there a motion to adopt Article 9 on the trails? It looks like Sue Chickering. Is there a second to that? Yes, your name, please. Oh, Sarah. Hi. I thought you were there. Thank you. Sarah Swift seconded that motion. Any discussion or comment or questions regarding Article 9? Yes, sir. Okay, great.
Hello?
Hello.
There we go. Hi, I'm Bill Higas. I took over from Mary Stone in 25 as the president of East Montpelier Trails. And I think we have 3 other members of the committee here today. Sue, Jeb is a new member over there, and Nona, and Steve. Steve Capel is our new treasurer as of this past year. And Nona is our first emeritus member. So, just a quick recap. Last year we did a couple of major projects, redoing the Sparrow Farm Boardwalk. 550 feet of boardwalk through that wetland was redone, and also completed 2 miles of new trail. The Sparrow Farm North Trail, which is the other side of the road from the Sparrow Farm South Trail. So those were two major projects last year. Next year coming up, we are going to be redoing the Mallory Brook Bridge finally. So that will happen. And also rerouting the Sparrow Farm South Trail around all of those really steep eroded sections. So that'll become much more enjoyable for hikers, bikers, and skiers for next year. That's the hope. And Seth is certainly right. I've spent a lot of quality time recently with the Select Board. So, so thank you for indulging me. Yeah, I think that's about it, and certainly happy to take any questions. I do want to recognize that this is an increase in request from the town, and that is due to an increase in number of miles of trail that we are trying to maintain and manage, that many more structures, bridges, et cetera, that we're trying to build and maintain, and just want to recognize that that is an increase from what you guys have graciously supported us with in the past. So happy to take any questions.
Any other questions or comments? Hang on just a second. No. Any other questions or comments from other folks? No, go ahead, please.
Your background is relevant here. We've never had a trailhead who had a background such as yours.
A background such as mine. Thanks for that, Nona. I'm not quite sure where to go with it, but I am a builder, so that certainly I think is the background you're talking about right now. We'll stick with that one. So actually, yeah, Hobie and I were building partners for about 20 years before he retired, and I am awfully close to retiring as well and spending a whole lot more time building trails. So that's, I'm close. Any other questions?
Yeah, there's one other question over there against the wall. It's like Deborah Glotman.
My dog would just like to really thank you guys for the amount of exercise, and my mental health is very grateful for us getting his energy out.
I just want to say, Sue Chickering, that it's been amazing to have Bill as our leader. It's just been life-changing for us and the trails. So thank you so much, Bill.
Any other questions or comments regarding the trails on Article 9? And again, thank you for your, Bruce Chappell has a question.
Yeah, my name is Bruce Chappell. We operate Templeton Farm here in East Montpelier. We've had a trail across our property for probably close to 20, 25 years. And of course, Nona and some of the other trails people were very instrumental in getting that trail that crosses our farm and goes over to Fairmont and all around. And I just want to tell you, for people, there's people in this community that have never taken advantage of these trails. They're really missing out because there's some tremendous views, and we get more comments. You know, I get email messages from people that love to see our cows, and they see the maple tubing and things like that. And I spend, this time of year, I'll spend more time up there because it's sugaring season. I can't tell you how many people that walk just our section of the trail, and a lot of them are from Montpelier. But I think it's a real treasure for the town of East Montpelier to have these trails. And people from Montpelier and other places just can't believe we have such a great trail system in our community.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. How long's that farm been in operation you got going there? 215 years, okay. Thank you very much. Again, like with the Four Corners, I just wanted to make a note before I call on Ruben that there is a trails report on page 69 through 71 of your town report, and Ruben Bennett had a question or a comment.
Just a quick note. I saw an article the other day online that noted that Vermont, out of the continental United States, is the healthiest state. And it's in no small part because communities like ours are doing things, we're doing the hard work of building these trails and these resources that folks from all around New England and the States and everywhere else come and enjoy. And it's, you know, it's something that you hear when you have conversations with folks from other areas that we do uniquely wonderfully. So I'd just like to quickly celebrate that. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments before we vote on Article 9? Yes, sir. And we need a runner, and there goes Tavish. Thank you.
My name is Tom Brandecker. I'm living here for a year and a half. What's the best place to figure out where the trails are and how to park for them? Because I drove around last year and couldn't figure it out very well.
So the easiest way to do it is to go to emtrails.org. There is a link to a map on there, and that will show all the parking lots, where all the trails are. You know, the parking system is not extensive. There's a couple spots, you know, for cars at most of the trailheads. I think there's either 11 or 14 trailheads right now that have some parking, limited parking. But there is parking there. So that's probably the easiest way to find it. You can download that map. At all of the trailheads, there will also now be new trailhead signs coming out this year. And all of those trailhead signs will have QR codes on the signs, and there'll be 3 QR codes. There'll be one for a link to the map that you can download right from there. The other 2 are for donations through Venmo or PayPal. So thank you very much for that segue.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Haggis. Article 9. For the trails, $6,000 for the fiscal year 2027. Any other questions, comments, or discussions regarding Article 9 before we vote? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor of Article 9, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 9. Article 10. Shall the town raise the sum of $9,700 for the Montpelier Senior Activities Center for operating expenses during fiscal year 2027? Is there a motion to take up Article 10? Yes, ma'am. Your name, please? Marion Hanson. How are you? Is there a second? Second. Is there a second for Marion's motion? And Allison Underhill. Thank you. Article 10, any questions or discussion regarding Article 10, the Montpelier Senior Center, before we vote? Don't see any questions or discussions or comment. Therefore, all those in favor of Article 10, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 10. Article 11. Shall the town raise the sum of $8,000 for Twin Valley Seniors, Inc. for operating expenses during fiscal year 2027? Is there a motion to bring up Article 11, Ginny Callan? Is there a second to Ginny's motion, Bill Merrilees? Any questions or discussions regarding Article 11? Hey, Ginny, happy birthday. And to Nora. Any other questions or discussions regarding Article 11? Seeing none, hearing none. Yes. Jennifer. Jennifer Zollner has a comment regarding Article 11.
Is this on? Yeah.
Yep.
Ruben's comment about this being the healthiest state got me scratching my head, seeing how we're the grayest state. So perhaps it's all these senior centers that are supporting our good health.
Any other questions or comments regarding the Article 11 item regarding the Twin Valley seniors. Article 11, seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor of adopting Article 11, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 11, $8,000. Article 12, shall the town raise the sum of $6,500 for Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice for expenses during fiscal year 2027. Is there a motion to bring up Article 12? Kim Watson, is there a second to Kim's motion by somebody? Ellen Knadler. Any discussion or question regarding Article 12? Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice, $6,500. Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor of adopting Article 12, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. You have adopted Article 12. Article 13. Shall the town raise the sum of $7,834 for the support of rural community transportation, RCT, to provide services to residents of the town of East Montpelier? It funds a portion of the total cost, which is also supported by appropriations from other towns, state and federal funds, and rider fares. Is there a motion to bring up Article 13 regarding RCT? I see Flor Diaz-Smith. Is there a second to that? Edie Miller. Any question or discussion regarding Article 13? Oh, Edie not only is a second, but has a question, I believe. Both. Okay, can a runner get Edie the mic, please? There they go. Look at them go.
Thank you. My question is one of clarification. I never remember from year to year the difference between these two articles next to each other, this one and the next one. What is the difference between the services and what are we funding of those two services?
Can someone speak to the difference between this current Article 13 and the next Article 14?
Well,
Seth Gardner.
Well, one's RCT.
Yep.
The other's GMT.
Okay.
They just partner up on the bus service.
All right.
That's my understanding of that.
Yep. Ruben Bennett maybe has a question or comment. And Carl, you know about this stuff too.
We can anticipate that.
My perhaps incorrect understanding is that the GMT article is for the Route 2 commuter service, and RCT actually, and you'll notice over time that money has sort of shifted from one column to the other. GMT used to provide much more service. RCT took over the other bus routes in town, and so the money has shifted more toward RCT as GMT is basically their service in town is limited to the Route 2 commuter bus, is my understanding.
Thanks, Ruben. I think Board Member Etnier also might have some information regarding these two articles.
Yeah, you caught us by surprise, Edie. We're used to having questions about Article 14 and Article 15, so I'll just jump in as long as we're talking about buses and answer that question ahead of time. You see GMT in both of those articles, and as it says in Article 14, that is, and as has just been said, that is about the Route 2 bus services. GMT appears again with a dollar difference in the sum in Article 15, and that is for services provided within town for if you call up and you need a ride of some sort for qualified people.
Thanks, Carl. Any other questions before we get to Article 13? Nona Estrin, please.
I have a question about the bus service. Can we get
Could you stand up? If you stand up anyway.
Can we get on the bus and ride to St. Johnsbury and have a day sightseeing?
Microphone's coming?
Yes. We can. Well, hooray.
Question was, can you have a day in St. Johnsbury by hopping on the bus? Yeah, okay. All right.
And I would invite, is there a Mr. Keevitt Kyler in the room? Doug, yes. Do you care to say anything about the ability to start out a vacation using the bus to St. Johnsbury?
You actually may want to talk to Paul Earlbaum about this. Is Paul here?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, thank you. And there he is.
Paul, would you like to speak? All right. Living on Brazier Road, yes, we can bring our bicycles down to Town Hill. They'll stop for us. We can put our bicycles on the bus and truly go to St. J, spend the day, and at the end of the day, the return trip. It's really quite lovely. It's sort of like meeting the train downtown in Montpelier and going to Brattleboro for the day and then coming back. There are so many little adventures that we can take as Vermonters and as folks living in East Montpelier. There's just so much available to us, and the bus is available to us.
Thanks, Doug. Any other questions or comments? Marion, please, right here.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that that would be a great article for the signpost.
Okay. Now you're in. Any other questions or comments regarding Article 13 before we vote on that matter? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor of Article 13, $7,834 for the support of RCT, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 13. Similarly, Article 14 is the sum of $1,499 for GMT, as noted, along Route 2 for service into East Montpelier. This is for a portion of the total cost. Is there a motion to bring up for the floor Article 14 regarding GMT? Reuben Bennett, is there a second to Reuben's motion to bring this up? Nona Estrin, any questions or comments regarding Article 14 before you vote? I don't see any. We had a kind of a thorough discussion. Thanks to everyone regarding the previous article. All those in favor, if you're ready for the question, all those in favor of Article 14, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 14. Article 15. Thank you. It's not Australian ballot, so we have to close it off right now. Article 15, page 10 of your report. Shall the town raise the amounts listed below as recommended by the town's funding request study committee for the following organizations for fiscal year 2027? And you can see on page 10, there's a list of 29 separate organizations that have requested money through the committee to the total of $23,175. And therefore, is there a motion to bring up Article 15? And Colin McCaffrey, and thank you very much for the sound system, which was working great. Thanks again. And is there a second to Colin's motion regarding Article 15? Yes. Alex, thank you. Seconded. Questions, discussions? Usually somebody from the committee, that would be Ginny Callan, can address, the process usually, perhaps answer questions. Anyone else who has information, please chime in. Ginny, go ahead. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody on the committee who did a lot of work on reviewing all these applications. And we also need to amend our request slightly, going down, not up, which is always a good thing. The Central Vermont Economic Development Corps accidentally put an application into our fund, but gets funded through the town as dues annually of $900. They applied to the fund for $900. We actually cut them back to $450 because we saw
so Ginny, that's number 5, is that right?
That's it's going from 23,175. Yes, it's number 5 to
Okay.
22,725. And all these applications, there are brief write-ups from page 85 to 89 in your book, if you want to learn a little bit more about them. So this request is just amended to $450 less, and the reason being that the organization is being funded through another route in the town government. So,
I take that as a motion. So
Okay.
that's a motion to amend
Yes,
Article 15,
all right.
to reduce it to 22,725. Is there a second to the motion to amend Paul Earlbaum? Discussion. Is there any discussion or questions regarding the amendment to reduce Article 15 to 22,725, as explained by Ms. Callan? I don't see any questions or discussions regarding that. So the question before the body is, shall Article 15 be amended to read on the bottom line 22,725? All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. You have, the ayes appear to have it, the ayes do have it, and you have amended Article 15.
I'd also like
Back to the main motion.
Good, thank you, Michael. I'd also like to just add that Green Mountain Transit is in for a certain amount of money, and explain that it is for specific bus service going to people's houses, bringing them places. So it's different than what we're funding for the bus rural route service. So this is specifically 36 individuals in town were helped in the past year for that service, and open to questions about any of the organizations.
Any questions for Ginny Callan regarding all of the indications for Article 15 of 1 through 29? Yes. We have a microphone request here. Carol Dixon.
Hi, Carol Dixon. It looks like that one is the only new one on here, and I was curious if there was anything else that I missed that was new, or if anything that was taken off, or if there anything else was. It doesn't look like there's significant changes in anything else, but just curious about changes.
Which one in particular were you requesting information about, Carolyn?
Oh, if there is any other new ones, or if there's anyone taken off.
Okay, thank you.
So there are a few groups that did not reapply, and one is the organization has closed. Some, I think, find our application process complicated, and every year we say we're going to simplify the application, and we never quite get to doing it. But once you've done the application once, it's pretty easy, I think, for an organization to just amend it, and for each year. So we do get many return organizations reapplying for a small amount of funds. And you'll see organizations that have really large budgets that are only asking for sometimes $150. And they're really just trying to show that they have local support from many towns. And the money is not as important as the support.
Any other questions or comments or discussion regarding Article 15, Nona Estrin?
Hi, I'm holding a piece of paper that I got from Community Harvest of Central Vermont. I just found out about them this year. I must have known that they existed. I must have asked 2 or 3 times at senior centers, who brings all that fresh food? Where's all this fresh food coming from? And heard the name, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together until Allison Levin.
I've been on the board since it's a 501c3.
Here we go.
I recently stepped down as president. I'm still on the board. It's a wonderful bootstrap organization that every dollar it goes to a wonderful, feeds people, and it's very well run and efficient organization. So
It's shockingly bottom heavy, volunteers on the bottom. Nobody except Allison and a couple of other people
That are employed.
There's
probably at least 100 volunteers who
It's
glean,
amazing.
clean, deliver. It's
And I have this piece of paper that says that, in how many? Well, 12,237 servings were donated to just one place
Yeah.
in the course of a year.
and much of this food, vegetables, fruits, would just be turned under, and it's good for the farmers too because they actually get a tax write-off.
Yeah.
They get credit for donating these crops that they could not either sell or had too much. So it's
Yes, and it also strikes me, since we're not just waiting for lunch, that, excuse me, I'll try not to say another thing after this, but it does strike me that we are having some odd weather these days. We could come up with crop failures in the future. If we do, you can't transfer food that's being wasted because it wasn't adequate to pick or you couldn't get the people to do it. You can't transfer that to people's kitchens unless you have a system that is well run and organized. I think not only is this a wonderful service, but it's a model for something that we don't quite understand and hopefully we'll never have to use.
Thank you. Anything else with regard to Article 15 as amended? And Jeannie Callan's here to answer any questions. I don't see any. So if you're ready for the question is, shall Article 15 as amended to the amount of $22,725 be adopted? All those in favor of Article 15 as amended, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it, the ayes do have it, and you have adopted Article 15 as amended. Article 16, to transact any other business that may properly come before the meeting. We might have had a discussion last year that other business is something that has to be relevant to the town, and state law says that it can be not binding on anyone, even if the body agrees to do that. And it also says if the body passes a item under Article 16 that has requirements for other business, that the moderator shall rule that it's out of order, state statute. With that background, Article 16, to transact any other business that may properly come before the meeting. Is there anything to be brought up under Article 16? Yes, sir. Back there. That fellow right there. Thanks.
Thank you. Tom Fisher. I am your town representative to CV Fiber. I'd be happy to provide an update. There's been some news lately, so people may not be aware. Apologies. I will attempt to speak louder and into the mic. It's hard to say exactly what's going on because it's still very much in action. But to give a little bit of an update, the state has applied and won what is called a BEAD grant, was a federal grant program standing for Broadband Equity Access Deployment Grant. The town originally was looking at, let's see, 220, or the state was looking at 229 million that it was applying for across all of Vermont. That got back down a bit to about 180 million. And then there was months upon months of back and forth and federal changes and all sorts of things. So we ended up, the state has now been told they will be awarded 93 million. And it's quite a drop from 200 something, but it is a massive amount of money to go into fiber that we did not have previously. So CV Fiber, if you're not familiar, is a CUD, a Communications Union District, an invention of about 6 or 7 years ago in the state of a publicly run municipal nonprofit internet provider. And we are concentrating heavily on fiber optic as the method by which we deliver that. It allows symmetrical service, so if you get 100 megabytes per second of data download, you also get that amount upload. and it's a heck of a lot better than dial-up if you're still on that. We have been spending the last few years in East Montpelier doing cleanup of the side of the road, doing make ready for the poles, doing permitting, doing all of the things we need to do to get all of our ducks in a row to do the work. And we did 2 or 3 years ago begin delivering service mostly in the northwestern corner of the town. And we have plans and have started doing most of that prep work for most of the northeast side of the town. The southern end of the town is mostly already served by cable or some other high-speed internet service, and so since we are really trying to go after places that do not yet have service or have very limited service, that's why we're concentrating on those 2 areas. So with this new funding, we have, let me back up another step, in the end of 2024, CV Fiber, which was 13 or 14 towns, combined with the Northeast Kingdom broadband, and we are now one giant CUD of 72 towns, which makes governing board meetings really fun, because every town has a representative. I am your representative, and I've been appointed by the town for the last several years. So with that happening, we became the largest CUD in the state. We are definitely going to get the largest piece of that pie, and we have all sorts of plans on how we're going to roll it out, but it is a very dynamic ball of wax now with 72 towns that all have different priorities and all are at different stages of development. East Montpelier is at the top of the pack. We have done all of our prep work. We have the highest take rate. A take rate is if we pass 100 residences, if 20 of them decide to take our service, that's a 20% take rate. We have the highest take rate of any of those 72 towns right now, which makes us look great. So that, combined with the fact we've done all that prep work, we've been dividing all of the 72 towns into 6 different tiers of how ready they are and how soon we can move, and we are in tier 1. And so we are looking to be building out the town somewhere. The plan currently is that however much money we manage to get for our CUD, we have a 4-year build-out plan, so that within 4 years, hopefully we will build out to 99% of our services, of our locations. And like I said, East Montpelier is going to be towards the top. So I can't tell you when your particular house is going to get service, but we are looking heavily at the later half of this year to do a lot of construction in this town and get the rest of the town built up. So if you have any questions, you want to know where your particular house fits into where we're doing, I can try to give you some advice. I have some other information, but come meet me afterwards. Otherwise, happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Tom. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Very much. Article 16, other business. Unless someone has a question for Tom. Sure.
So will residents be getting something like a notification or something when service is available from you? Like in the mail or something?
Thank you. I forgot my 2 other points. So number 1, yes, especially if I have stuff here today. If you want to register, you can go to our site online and register, and we will give you a newsletter, give you an update that yes, we have service coming in your area. We're looking at building in a month or whatever. We'll give you as much information as we can. We are obviously want you to have as much information as possible. So the other 2 major things I wanted to point out. One is that we are also building out a new program internal to our organization. A drop is what it's called when they take either power or in this case communications from the pole and bring it to your house. So we're doing a affordable drop program because a lot of us have underground conduit, and that's how we would like to have the communications get to our house. Digging up conduit is not cheap, and we realize that, and just because you want internet, you may not be ready to drop $6 grand on putting in new conduit. So we are rolling out a program to help alleviate that. I don't have the details on it yet, but we have just in the last board meeting voted to approve that. We are moving forward with that, and we are drawing out the plans now, and there'll be more information on that coming forward. Also, we are Vermont first. We are building out a workforce. We're going to be hiring many new people. We have open positions right now. So if you are someone who is interested in various aspects, we need financial help, we need administrative help, and of course we need linemen and all of that. So again, if you are interested or you know someone who's interested, feel free to reach out. We are helping to develop a workforce development program for all of the Northeast Kingdom. So again, reach out if you have any questions.
Any more questions for Tom or in general regarding CV Fiber? under Article 16. Are there any other matters under Article 16? Yes, ma'am, right here, and then.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Schrader from the Planning Commission, and I just wanted to let everybody know that we have the 2026 town plan has been approved by the Planning Commission and submitted to the Select Board. The Select Board had their first public hearing on it last night, and the second one will be April 6th at 5 p.m. Prior to the Select Board meeting. You can also submit written comments in addition to bringing comments forward at that time. And we would just really encourage everybody to participate in that.
Thanks, Becca. Steve Capel had an item under Article 16.
I think this is germane, at least I hope so.
Okay.
If this may be a senior moment that I'm having, but did we actually vote on Article 4?
We did.
The hammer came down, but
Yes.
do we need to?
No, we voted on Article 4. Article 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the taxes.
No, we didn't.
What? Okay. I remember reading it about the 2 installments, but perhaps we didn't vote. Well, let's see.
No taxes. Nobody has to pay taxes this year.
Scott says there's no taxes, and he's a finance guy. Well, if the hammer came down but we didn't vote, then I think we can revisit without having to repetition, because we're not reconsidering something we didn't vote on. So, Steve, thank you. So it was moved and it was seconded. I do recall reading it, and so the question is, shall we shall we adopt Article 4 with regard to the 2 installments for taxes? All those in favor of adopting Article 4, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it.
I'm sorry, you have to pay your taxes now.
Well, somebody. Thanks. So Scott says now we have to do it twice a year. We have now adopted Article 4. Thank you, Steve. Good catch.
Yeah.
Article 16, other business. Andy Christensen, anyone else? Nathan, also Phillips. Andy, Article 16, you have something? Hold on. We need a microphone for you, please, from Tav. Doesn't sound like it, Andy.
Oh, good. I won't be speechless here.
There you go.
I'd like to move the resolution that was, I think people have paper copies of.
Still can't hear that well. You have to hold it right up to your...
I'd like to move the resolution that it's on paper, and when you came in, hopefully people have got it.
There was a resolution on the bench out there. It didn't say anything formally what it was. Do you want to paraphrase it? Does anyone know what Andy's talking about with regard? We have a lot of shaking. We have a lot of shaking of heads of people.
Okay, this is a resolution that is about the 250th anniversary of the Constitution and looking at where we are politically at this moment in time. I have further remarks to make about it, but
let's see. Well, it would be relevant to East Montpelier's business if it affects the town, and I'm looking at it here, and it talks about Congress, it talks about ICE, it talks about thus putting pressure on our local and state governments and endangering public safety and environmental protection, transportation, and assistance to those in need. So It might not be germane, but I think it's relevant under other business in that it addresses the town fiscally and assistance to those in need and public safety. So I will rule at this point that it is relevant under other business, but a lot of people don't seem to have gotten it. There was no sign for it out there as to what it was. So if you wanted to paraphrase it, that would probably suffice, and then we can see if people want to move forward with it. So thank you.
Well, the resolution calls for a number of things. It lists some of the things that we've been witnessing politically over the last year. The resolves ask us to support bills that are currently in the Vermont legislature that would constrain ICE. And it also, well, let's see, I was trying to think. There's a lot to paraphrase there. But it's basically a resolution asking us to, our local and state governments to protect us from federal encroachment.
Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding this? And I'm aware that based on the number of people who indicated that they hadn't had a chance to see it beforehand. So, Ann Stanton, you have a question?
I just saw it, so I just want to read out. It be resolved that we ask our governor and state and local officials refuse to provide any personal information about Vermont citizens, such as SNAP recipients and voter rolls. It further resolved that our federal representatives in Congress vote to abolish ICE, restrict the border patrol to our borders, and end dragnet arrest operations based on race and military deployment to our cities, and prohibit the construction of new detention centers, and further resolve that we support bills in the Vermont State Judiciary Committee and House Committee on Corrections and Institutions, which would keep ICE out of schools, health facilities, libraries, and guarantee legal counsel for people facing deportation, and further resolved that on behalf of the people of East Montpelier, this resolution be sent to our congressional delegation, to the Vermont governor, lieutenant governor, speaker of the House, and our state representatives and state senators.
Any other questions or discussions regarding this resolution presented by Mr. Christensen under Article 16? Marion Hanson. I will note again that the last resolved indicates that the resolution be sent to our congressional delegation. Nothing under Article 16 is binding on the town, so we would have to kindly ask our select board or town clerk to do that, but we cannot require them to do that because this was not warned. Marion.
I guess I just want to speak to relevance to the town. I was born in Canada, and I have lived in Vermont most of my adult life. And I know, because I was not born in this country, that the world is watching us. And that includes East Montpelier. That includes everybody in every village and every town and every city in the entire country. The world cannot believe what the American people are allowing to happen in this country. So that's my response to how is it relevant to us.
Thank you. I see a hand by Renee, and then Ed, and then looks like Marlene. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you, Renee.
I agree with many things in here, and I will vote for it, but I really beg of us to watch our language. I just think we can't be incendiary. the opposing forces are very incendiary. So when we say things like his own Gestapo, or Republican-installed Supreme Court, or that members of Congress, it's some members of Congress. And I think we really, really have to watch our language. If we're mean back, or if we use that kind of language back, we're not fighting the fight in the good, clean way I hope we would.
Ed Deegan had a question, and I think Marlene next to him also had a question or a comment.
Michael, I just wanted you to verify, because you said you have to make the ruling on whether this is relevant to the town function, and I think it clearly is. But I just did you have to rule on this being available to be voted on?
What do you mean by available? Sorry.
I thought that you said that it has to be relevant to the town business.
Yes.
And you're the one who makes that decision. Did you decide one way or another on this?
Yeah, I said I thought it was relevant.
Okay.
But as the moderator can be overruled.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
And just a little perspective. I'm a very positive mental attitude person. I'm an eternal optimist. Things are bad right now. I agree with Renee. The words here could be a little bit cleaner, but things are bad. But remember, going back, many of us were born here in a time where there was no Civil Rights Acts, no Voting Acts. In 1956, when I was born, there was one woman senator in our U.S. Senate. There were no black senators in our Senate at all. From there, we went through assassinations and all this stuff. We've had this before. We've come through it. We are going to get through this, and we're going to come out the other end, hopefully, with some definitive fixes to the problems, that are not laid out in here. But just stay optimistic, I believe. As bad as things get, we are going to come through this. And it's going to be evident, I think, I think the No Kings rally coming up is something that we should all be at. So.
Okay. Thanks, Ed. Sorry, somebody said something about March date, March 20th. Okay. 28th. Thank you. Marlene McCarty?
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here because I wanted to say to everybody.
Marlene, could you put the mic a little closer?
I wanted to say to everybody that we really need to band together as a community. Like we know, everything's really upset right now. And this thing about the digital ID, I don't even know much about it, but everybody should look into it and don't buy into it if you can help it, because they're talking about taking away your bank accounts, your properties, like you don't own anything. And things are going to get bad, and people are going to get upset. And if we don't band together and help each other, then it could be worse. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Marlene. I see Dave Connor has his hand up, and then Ruben Bennett. And we need a mic for David right here in the front row. Tavish, please, or Penny. Thank you.
Is this on?
It is on.
You
usually don't need a microphone, but
I don't.
No, but go ahead.
All right, I'll try to be not too extemporary.
Never.
Basically, I brought my bag of signs that we used to stand in front of the post office because I thought today one of the most relevant things is that we're starting a war, and that matters to all of the people in this room. And so I have in my car some of the things that Jules and Helen Rabin put together and that we used to stand in front of the post office. I'm only saying that now because I think that when a nation goes to where we were at one time that brought us in front of the post office every week, that we need to be doing more than the wonderful things that we do in democracy and freedom of speech and the wonderful things that Vermont stands for. But on the other hand, I'm going to be back at the post office if it opens up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Reuben Bennett had his hand up for a comment regarding the resolution by Mr. Christensen.
I'm going to keep it short. Silence is complicity. I cannot be complicit. Silence is complicity. I cannot be complicit. Therefore, I will not be silent.
Any other questions or comments regarding Mr. Christensen's resolution under Article 16? Yes, ma'am. Front row here, because you should get the mic from
Susan McKinney. I'm looking at this. I did read it somewhere, but I can't remember from where. If we deleted the the fourth whereas, where we're talking about the Gestapo and stuff, I happen to agree with some of it, but if we just deleted that, I don't think that it would adversely, be hard to do and just talk about the rest of it, the rest of the resolution. Just a suggestion.
That's a suggestion. I don't know if you want to make that a motion to amend the resolution.
Yes, I would like to make
So that's a motion to eliminate paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd need a second to do that. Is there a second to, I see a second by the gentleman right there behind. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Your name, please? Steve what? Thanks, Steve. Motion by Steve to he was sitting behind Jeff. Thank you. So the question is, shall, I see a bunch of hands up. The question is, shall paragraph 4 be eliminated? I will read it. Whereas the President has established ICE and CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, as his own Gestapo with illegal race-based kidnappings, deportation, and gangland-style execution of American citizens. That's paragraph 4, Mr. Christensen's resolution. The question is, shall that be eliminated? There was a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the proposed amendment? And I would let the author or proponent speak to that first in the event of what he might say.
Mr. Mott.
It's on, I believe, Andy.
Mr. Moderator, I would oppose this amendment. The language here, the word Gestapo in particular, and the descriptions here are those of some of our most preeminent historians. Robert Paxton, for example, who's considered the expert on fascism. Garrett Graff, I don't know if any people remember Chris Graff, who used to be the head of the press bureau here in Montpelier. His son Garrett has written extensively on this, and he has detailed all of the crimes committed by the ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, and has found that if you had a serious criminal offense it's been every month for the last 20 years, has been committed by CBP. It's been one of the most crime-ridden organizations, committing more crimes than all of the immigrants have put together. This language and the most inflammatory words are not mine, they're those of our well-known scholars and historians. And I would oppose this. I think that we are now facing a crossroads. I would recommend that people here take a look at the Declaration of Independence written 250 years ago, which we're supposedly celebrating this year. That language we would never have had a revolution if that language had been toned down. If you look at the reasons that were given in that declaration for why we were deciding to become independent in the first place, you would find that most of them match where we are today. Talking about a different king, King George. And it was also telling that the current president of the United States didn't know that the Declaration of Independence referred to King George in the Revolutionary War. He thought it was related to the Civil War. Perhaps this blind spot is why his MAG movement, or Make America Germany Again, is based on the model of Hitler's Nazi Germany rather than the humility and leadership of George Washington. And the resolution that I offer today lists our grievances, which align with those of our founding fathers and resist the fascism that my parents' generation sacrificed their lives for to oppose when in World War II. My comparisons to Hitler is not made lightly and corresponds, as I said, with the opinions of our most knowledgeable historians. Hitler's Enabling Act is based on Article 48 of the Weimar Constitution. It is the same as our Insurrection Act, which Trump has repeatedly threatened to invoke. We are now at a crossroads and time is running short. If Trump continues to emulate Hitler, we can expect certain events to happen, most likely this late summer, before the midterms. Trump has repeatedly talked about nationalizing the elections, hinted at stationing ICE troops at polling places, stolen voter data in Georgia. He's instigated additional gerrymandering in Texas and supported Republicans who voted in the House for the SAVE Act, which comes with a directive that states have to regularly submit their voter rolls to the Department of Homeland Security. The likely purpose for this is to feed data into the surveillance systems built by Palantir and to prepare to block local governments from managing elections. Within a month after being named chancellor, Hitler suspended civil liberties and started arresting political opponents. Trump has already threatened to execute 6 Democratic lawmakers for reminding military servicemen they could disobey illegal orders. It took 7 months for Hitler to ban other political parties and 18 months for democracy to be officially abolished, but only 1 month to build the first concentration camp at Dachau. ICE uses 225 detention facilities, so-called, holding 73,000 individuals in custody with plans for many more. I wasn't planning to offer this resolution this year until I realized this could be our last town meeting. Looking at the trajectory we are on, I remembered that within 3 months of Hitler taking power, state legislatures were dissolved and replaced by centrally appointed Reich governors. Within 2 years, the 1935 Municipal Code eliminated locally elected bodies, which completed the total elimination of local and state democracy. This may seem far-fetched, except for the dress rehearsals we've seen over the last several months with Trump's ill-vetted and ill-trained Gestapo being deployed to blue state cities. In East Montpelier, we see hints of how we are already puppets of federal power plays. We are still waiting for our last FEMA payment of $775,000 for projects finished in October 2025. Meanwhile, there are times when the grants portal is locked up and the feds keep stalling. Last Friday, according to an article in yesterday's New York Times, FEMA is finally releasing money in order to drain the fund. Why? So as to put pressure on Democratic negotiators on the current government shutdown to get them to back down on any restrictions on ICE and CBP. Republicans protecting ICE may speed up our FEMA refund for our culverts in the short term, but could mean we get nothing when the next flood happens. The perfect storm is upon us. There is no question that the war on Iran has taken out an evil leadership, which massacred its own people for tight-fisted power. But when waged by a fascist government, it is also a war against all of us here today, attending town meeting. How so? A Palantir representative explained to a Greek economist how the chaos of intense violence in a high-density urban area like Gaza generates substantial data for training their AI models on how humans respond under stress. Quote, the more bombardment and havoc, the better the AI training. You may have read how the War Department rejected Anthropic as a vendor for AI services this last week. The reason is because Anthropic wanted guardrails to stop its AI from being used for the mass surveillance of Americans or deployed in autonomous weapons with no humans involved. From the pressure to turn over voter rolls, to the withholding and release of FEMA funds, to the war on Iran, all of these are components of the AI models that will be used to establish a fascist dictatorship which will take away the freedom our founding fathers declared 250 years ago. It is a simple change of parameters in Palantir's computer programs to shift attention from immigrants to all of us sitting here. On September 25th, 2025, President Trump issued a presidential directive titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized
Andy, I'm going to interrupt. I see a couple of folks leaving, and there's generally a 10-minute notice in the Secretary of State's office for other business discussions. So the question is, shall your resolution be amended as proposed? So rather than the merits of it. So keeping that in mind, I'm wondering.
So with the urgency of what we're facing now, I oppose this amendment.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments regarding the amendment? Charlie Wanza, I believe, Ellen Knadler, and then I see Rick Barstow. Charlie, please. Charlie standing up right there. Thank you, Julia.
Hey, Andy, I like what you're trying to do here, and I will vote for it. But I'd like to suggest an amendment on the fourth paragraph. Is that okay, Mr. Moderator?
Well, that's a double amendment because we already have an amendment to eliminate the fourth paragraph. So we'll take one amendment on an amendment. So the question before us right now that we're speaking to is, shall paragraph 4 be eliminated?
And I would suggest that we should keep it, but we should soften the language a little bit.
Well,
I can make. I have just a suggestion here, but you cut me off when you think you should cut me off, but I don't think we should eliminate paragraph 4, but I don't think that we should eliminate it. I don't think we should eliminate paragraph 4. I think we should amend it a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, you'd have to come up with some specific language to do that, since an amendment on an amendment.
Yeah, I have the mic right here.
Oh, okay.
I suggest we get rid of gangland style executions and put in killings. So get rid of gangland-style executions, substitute it with killings. The Gestapo raises my hackles a little bit, but I understand the historical context. I appreciate what Andy said. I could leave that, or I could substitute that too.
Okay. So
Thank
the
you.
person, I'm going to call on the person next to Allison who made the amendment. Do you consider what Charlie's offering as a friendly amendment to your? Oh, okay. Is there a second to Charlie's amendment to the amendment? Ginny Callan, is that a second? Okay. So now there's a motion to amend the amendment, which has been seconded, and the person who made the amendment in the first instance. Is that considered a friendly amendment, or do you have any discussion about it?
I agree with what
Charlie just said?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the question is, I'm going to take that as a friendly amendment to this person's amendment. And the question is, shall the resolution be amended accordingly? Is there any more discussion about that amendment? Not on the merits. Ellen Knadler.
I appreciate that Charlie just said that the word Gestapo raises its hackles. It should. We should never forget it. It's an awful word. It makes me think of a whole ton of things. It reminds me of, because I was born in 1952, every time a plane went over, I hid under a bed. Okay, people need to not forget it. I support Andy's use of the word, and I don't want it removed. It's an awful word, and we shouldn't forget it. Thank you.
So the question is, shall paragraph 4 be eliminated from the resolution? Any questions or more comments on whether paragraph 4 should be eliminated? What?
It's amended.
As amended, yeah. Right. No, well, that's an amendment to the question to eliminate it. Yeah. Yeah. So Rick, what do you have to say?
Rick Barstow, and I just want to say that paragraph 4 is very important and very relevant to where we stand today, particularly when it comes to our elections this fall. And Trump and Miller, they are intoxicated with power and will stop at nothing to keep it. And I think we need to be very aware of how they may try to steal this election. And that's where Gestapos will show up. I think here in Vermont, we're very lucky because our officials and people who run the elections here do the utmost to make sure they're fair and accurate. But other states, I know we don't have any control over them unless people here know people in some of those states and can help influence them to protect their elections. Because if these elections are stolen, we're done. 250 years is the end date of our country. Thank you.
Thank you. So the question is, shall Charlie's amendment to the amendment be accepted or adopted? Any other questions on Charlie's amendment to change the language in the third sentence of paragraph 4 to take out gangland-style executions and killings? This is not a question on the resolution itself. This is on what Charlie's offering? Okay, go ahead, Deborah.
As an immigrant, as a Jew, as someone who got shot at whose family was shot at on a Wednesday and lived for the rest of their life in the United States, luckily, on a Saturday, over 40 years ago, and became a citizen 9 years later, I would just like to say that the word Gestapo fits. And as much as I hate it, and I lost 9 family members to the Gestapo, I would just like to say that those words hurt for a reason, and they're difficult, and it's a terrible truth that we're living. But we just can't make it be nice because it's not nice.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Question is, shall the words gangland-style execution be taken out of the third sentence and substituted with killings? Any questions on that? Yes, Renee, go ahead, please. Thank you.
If this was a letter to the editor or some other form of an article in the newspaper, what I'm saying is most of my family was destroyed by the Gestapo too. That's not the point. The point is that if we want to be inclusive, if we want, not those of us who we already know are going to show up at the No Kings, we want those people on the edges who've been looking and watching and thinking, this is not good, but boy, they really are, I don't like how they're talking about this, and that's who we want to bring in. And to me, that's the whole point. It's not that I don't agree with everything Andy said, but that's that's mine. So if we want to be inclusive, we have got to include. And the other thing is, anytime we focus on Trump and think if we cut off the head, that the snake is going to stop wiggling, we're really naive. There is a much bigger snake here. And if we think by just focusing on him, we've solved it. We have not even come close. So I will vote for the amendment.
Okay, so thank you, Renee. The question is, shall the word killings be inserted in the third line of paragraph 4? Ed, this is to that question, to Charlie's amendment. Okay.
About 5 years ago, when the first regime came in, Carl, I think, had a resolution regarding sanctuary cities or something. And he came in and amended what the resolution was because of something that Trump had said, like, oh, this isn't right. And we're trying to, and what I said then, very quick comment that I had made is, you don't give in to bullies. This guy's a bully. You don't, and you could see it happening then, just trying to work around him and be kinder, and he softened the language. This language really doesn't need to be softened, in my view. I think what's stated here is correct. I do understand everybody's position on it. Softening it a little bit would be fine, but it is what it is. And you know, we shouldn't be kowtowing and trying to soften things up. The reality of where we're at is the reality of where we're at.
Thank you, Ed. So the question is, shall the word killings be substituted for the word gangland-style executions in line 3 of paragraph 4 before we even move to vote on the amendment to eliminate paragraph 4? So the question is, shall the words be substituted as proposed by Mr. Wanza? Is there any more discussion about that? Marion?
Thank you. Yeah, I, like many of you, will vote for the friendly amendment to the amendment, but I guess I do want to say about the word killings as opposed to executions. When they killed Renee Good, when they killed Alex Preddy, I thought to myself, that's not a killing, that's an execution. So, just saying.
Okay. So any more questions or comments on Mr. Wanza's amendment to substitute the word killings for gangland-styled executions? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor of Mr. Wanza's amendment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Nay. Well, the moderator can be overruled, but my sense is that it was nay. So thank you, Charlie, in any event. So now the question is with regard to this woman's, could you tell me your first name? Susan, thank you. Susan's amendment to strike paragraph 4. Question is, shall we strike paragraph 4 from Mr. Christensen's resolution. All those in favor of striking paragraph 4, please indicate in a moderate voice. Aye. If in favor of striking paragraph 4, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed to striking paragraph 4, please indicate by saying nay.
Nay.
The nays appear to have it. The nays do have it, and you are not amending Mr. Christensen's resolution as proposed by Susan. The question now becomes, shall Mr. Christensen's resolution be adopted with the constraints that nothing is binding upon the town? And we have, with regard to the main question, yes, we have a question right there, please. And Julia, thank you. The question is, shall the resolution be adopted?
Hi, I hate to keep endlessly editing this resolution, but I think the word gangland is the inflammatory word here.
I think we've already ruled on that.
Okay, just saying.
Okay. The question is, shall the resolution, as proposed by Mr. Christensen, be adopted by the body? Yes. Charles Johnson. Question is, shall the resolution be adopted?
I guess this is a point of order. What would it take to make this a binding resolution?
An act of the Vermont legislature.
So
and I'm serious because it's very clear in state law that no matter brought up under other business which has not been warned is binding upon the municipality. And, as I said earlier, and it's a great statement, and the moderator shall so rule. That's in state law. It's not a procedure, it's not a practice, it's not a regulation, it's a statute. So the question is, shall Mr. Christensen's resolution under Article 16 be adopted? Is that Kim? No. Is that Terry? No? Oh, Carol Johnson. Hi, thank you.
So I would like the resolution to be adopted, and I would also like to say that I'm very happy that we're not only dealing with town business, but we're dealing with what we're dealing with as a country, as a state, as citizens, because it's all much bigger than the town right now. And for us to take this more global approach, I think is important, and I'm proud of us.
Thank you. Just to make the record, thank you, Carol Johnson. Just to make the record clear, it is relevant based on my ruling, which can be overruled, because it had to do with financial pressure on our local and state governments. So that does make it relevant. Mr. Etnier, you have a point?
I'd like to make a comment. It's not a point of order.
May okay.
I be recognized?
You may.
Yep, thank you. As you pointed out, this cannot be a binding resolution. And I was considering turning to our town clerk and asking her, would you be willing, but don't answer, would you be willing to send it out to the entities named in the resolution? But I'm not going to do that because I'm going to ask everybody here, if this passes, to say this is not a binding resolution and therefore it's my responsibility to send it to the entities named. So please consider that.
Thank you, Carl. Any other questions or comment? Allison Underhill, please. Before we vote on Mr. Christensen's resolution.
Let me fall first. I certainly support what Andy is proposing. No?
Just put it closer to your mouth.
Does that work?
That's good.
Okay. I support Andy's proposal, but I want to address something to Renee, and that is I have a friend who is a great Trump supporter. She loves everything about him and all his people. And nothing that we do or say or change is going to bring her in, ever. And I think that's true a lot of them. So softening it isn't going to help.
Thank you, Allison, for your comments. Any other comments, questions, or discussion regarding Mr. Christensen's resolution? Colin Blackwell?
Hi, good morning. Just wanted to get clarification from the select board based on Carl's recommendation that we all send this in, which I think is really a moving thing to do. If it's going to bind on the select board in any way, are we electing our select board to be in that position? And is that something they want to discuss now?
It is not binding on the select board in any way.
Correct.
And the language actually says that on behalf of the people of East Montpelier, this resolution be sent. So it doesn't say by whom. Usually these things are sent by some entity, official of the town, oftentimes a town clerk, but it cannot bind her, but it's not binding on the select board in any way. This is a resolution brought up on the floor under other business by a citizen. So,
I appreciate that. Yeah, just curious. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments before we vote on Mr. Christensen's resolution coming under Article 16, other business? Seeing none, hearing none. You have one comment right here. Just kindly state your name for the record, please.
Julia Barstow. Last town meeting, Andy brought forth a resolution based on where we were at that time, and it was also non-binding, being other business. I'm curious if any town official sent that resolution to the officials asked in the resolution, and if not, what would they like to see from residents to encourage this resolution, if it passes, to be sent?
Thank you. It's my recollection, and I can be corrected by the town clerk or select board, that in fact it was sent because it was kindly asked to do so, rather than being required to do so. So I believe Rosie and or Seth and the board sent it to our congressional delegation, if that's correct, and Rosie is shaking her head yes. So that's what happened last year. We could not require Rosie to do it, but she kindly did so upon request. Any other questions or discussions before we vote? Marion? Julie, can you just bring that over there?
Thank you. I want to commend the runners. They're great.
Oh.
Uh-oh, this is one of those moments. This happens to me. I forget what I was going to say. Okay, so last year, and I know this year, Andy spent an unbelievable amount of time choosing his words. These are not words that just flowed out of him. He agonized over every one. And last time, he spent a lot of time people telling him to take out the word fascist. He put it in, he took it out, he put it in, he took it out. Last year, the resolution that passed here was seen by people all the way to France. There were people who had not seen one thing come out of this country that was calling it like it is. And Andy's resolution had that effect. So I would say it's a good thing to understand that what we're doing here has ripples, and the ripples can become waves, and a wave can become a tsunami.
Thank you, Marion. And thank you for your comments about the runners, Tavish, Julia, and Penny. You beat me to the punch. Any other questions or comments with regard to Mr. Christensen's resolution under Article 16, other business? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor of Andy's resolution, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it, and you have adopted Mr. Christensen's resolution. I see a hand or a thumbs up from the kitchen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Important news. Any other questions, comments, or matters to be brought up? And Nathan Phillips had his hand up for Article 16, and Mr. Erlbaum as well. Nathan, and do we have a mic? Julia, right down the back. Nathan Phillips, thank you guys. Right in the back, Tav, thanks.
Kind of feel like I drew the short straw coming after that discussion. But I'll be quick, and I promise much less controversial. But I did just want to put in a quick introduction and plug to our North Montpelier revitalization efforts. If you didn't see on the way in, we do have a table out in the hallway giving you some basic information. As Seth said at the start of the meeting, we did get a municipal planning grant, and we are in the initial stages of that, just going out to get a consultant to help us. And our goal is, a lot of us have lived in town in North Montpelier or in the area and are aware of, a lot of the issues that we're up against. And, what we're hoping to get out of this grant is, some help in trying to prioritize some of those things, maybe some help in trying to, assess what we'd like to do, but maybe isn't realistic, especially as a starting point. So we're really looking at this as something to help us guide our energies. So that said, we would love any other help or input that anyone would like to have. There is a sign up on our table, or come talk to one of us. I guess probably talking either to me or Selena Barton, where come involved in it. So we would be good ones to talk to. And the only other thing I'll put in a plug for is we are, anyone who knows me, I'm a big history buff. And one of the things we're looking to create was at Selena Moore's house, which was one of the first houses in North Montpelier and was an early tavern. They often had a big blowout July 4th barbecue there. And we're going to bring that back for this year, to have a big barbecue that we would love to have people come with. And as part of the grant, we are doing some fundraising to offset the match that we have to have. So there's a few things out there that are samples of what's going to be at a silent auction at that barbecue. So we will be providing additional information as it gets closer. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan. Great information. Thank you very much. Anything else before we, Mr. Erlbaum, I think you had your hand up, please.
Yes. I just would like to have a quick shout out for our tireless Flor Diaz-Smith. And if you haven't read the editorial, the open letter to Governor Scott, it is a class act. It is direct. It's really worth reading. Thank you, Flor.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Hi, yeah, I'm Tommy Barton. I'm a senior at Brown, and I'm coming back to North and East Montpelier, hopefully after this. I have a capstone project outside just to the left, and I'd love some participation from all of you, if possible. I'll also try and send out a survey on Front Porch Forum, but so excited to be part of this town. That was such a wonderful town meeting, and yes, so happy to be back.
Thanks, Tommy. I also think, following up on Nathan's question, I think there's a table out there by the East Montpelier Historical Society as well. Selena?
And I'll just be very brief because this is the most famous lunch in all year long. But we are really winning grants right now. So I really hear you, Andy, and the world feels overwhelming right now. But here, when we lean in locally and we are actually securing outside resources for our town and making things happen, like the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief Planning Grant, which is taking place around Orchard Valley to help build senior and intergenerational housing, or at least try to figure out how to do that. is happening right now, and we need more of you to lean in if you want to participate and offer everything from visioning skills to creative skills to administrative and accounting. So anybody who wants to be part of this grants work, we have a number of grants, and the flywheel is really spinning now, and we're getting organized to attract more.
Thanks, Selena. Jen, our town administrator. Please, and we have a microphone. There goes Tav. Great.
Hi, I'm Jen Devine, your town administrator.
A little closer, Jen.
Oh, an emergency management director. I would like to invite the members of the Emergency Preparedness Committee to take a stand. The members of the Emergency Preparedness Committee are Rachel Grossman, Lydia Fazy, Renee Kevitt-Kyler, Patty Giavara, and Bridget McCall. So we're working together to strengthen our community's resilience. And one way we're doing that is by launching an optional neighborhood emergency network. This is a voluntary program where neighbors can connect and help each other during the emergencies. It's not required, just an opportunity to be better prepared together. So we're going to pass around a quick survey. We have it manual and digital if you are interested in participating. So thank you for your time and caring about our town's safety.
And it's also what's in the signpost.
Yes. Yep. We have it here.
Okay, thanks. This survey to be filled out either online or in paper.
And we also have a generator workshop happening soon, and that information will be on our town website.
Article 16, other business related to the town. Tabling outside. Paul Kate. Sir.
This on? Yes.
Yes.
I would like to thank Andy and all the other folks who've showed up at this town meeting. Town meetings seem to be getting shorter, and sometimes it's just kind of nice to have more time to have interaction between all of us townspeople. And also, you know, this is still called lunch instead of brunch. So I hope future town meetings will take at least till lunchtime. Thank you.
Right on the button, I think. Thomas? Any other comments or questions after Thomas Barton?
Sorry, we also just wanted to announce for the Dream Grant on the town website, and then also out on the table just to the left when you exit. We have new postcards that we're going to be sending out, but if you can take the survey, it's about decarbonization and weatherization of the homes. We got $100,000 to fix for education and planning of weatherization of homes around East Montpelier, so super excited to be pushing that initiative forward as well.
Thank you, Thomas. Any other questions, announcements regarding Article 16, other business? If not, is there a motion to adjourn today's town meeting by Mr. Hess? Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, and there's a second by Paul Kate. All those in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.